one agency that has been that way. Other agencies are underfunded as well. But now here's what I'll say to that. We see the results of that in education. Okay? Let me give you an example. They did some cuts with our Sooner Care, which is health care for our low-income families. Do you think we see that in our schools? Absolutely we do. We do. Kids aren't able to get the medications and things that they need and being as healthy as they need. A cut in mental health. Okay? I don't know if you guys are aware of it or not, but we'll have counselors that come into the school and will pull students out of an elective class to give counseling to our students, which is huge. It plays a vital part and a vital role for us. Well, when they make those cuts, now counselors aren't able to come in to our schools to provide those services. All right? So what we're going to have to do on the state level is make sure agencies, number one, they're spending their money that like they're supposed to. The money is going to where it's supposed to. And so there needs to be some audits of those state agencies, right? And if they're wasting money, well, all that money comes from one big general fund. Well, if we're saving money, you see what I'm saying? If we're saving money in those different agencies, that means we're going to have more money in our general fund to if we need it towards education, we can get it out there. All right? So all of our state agencies are hurting with funding effects.
What changes legally would you like to see made
to the health care? Well, number one, we've got to make sure that health care is available to everybody in some form. Like I said, with some different cuts and things in our Sooner Care and that kind of thing, that's hurt us. And again, it's from what I understand, just getting into it a little bit, just because I'm running for office, again, that goes back to budget. Does that make sense? It goes back to having some money there and things. But we got to make sure we're providing health care for everyone somehow. Yes, ma'am.
As a Republican, how do you plan to run a legislative house when the vote is going to be increasingly disillusioned by previous/current Republican elected officials?
That is a great question, and one that I've had to think about a lot, okay? So the question is, and especially educators are really disgruntled at Republicans, okay? And so, can I take it that angle? Just say the educators and how, let's talk about that, okay? Look, this is my 33rd year in teaching, okay? 33rd year. All right. So the Republicans have had the majority, and along with the governorship. We've had the governor the last 8 years, but the Republicans have had control of the House and the Senate by a large number, or by a large majority, for about the last 10 years. Okay? All right. And so the reason why we've gotten into this mess with funding, Republicans have cut and given some tax incentives to try to help lure businesses to Oklahoma, and in particular the oil business, okay? And they've given them cuts, okay? Does that make sense? You understand me? You follow me there? All right. And so we've been under the Republican majority the last 10 years, and we've seen what the Republican Party has done in their policies. It's not that they're anti-education. No one's anti-education. But we've seen the result of their policies of giving some tax cuts and some tax incentives to some businesses and how that's hurt us. okay? All right, so let's say for the last 10 years. So for 20 years, I've been an educator where the Democrats had control of the House and of the Senate, okay? All right, so where we may not have had the budget issues during those 20 years, but guess what? In teacher pay, we were still at the bottom. I mean, I've been at the bottom of the teacher pay my whole life because both of my parents were teachers. All right, so I've lived on a teacher salary for 56 years. I'm 56 now. I'm going to be 57. Man, that's old. But and so this is a long way to answer your question, but I have a point. So I've been under the Democrats for 20 years, and still was getting paid, down at the bottom, anywhere from 40. I think we moved up to 45 maybe back in 1990 in teacher pay when we had a Democratic House and Senate and a Republican governor, and we passed what's called House Bill 1017, which at that time was the biggest education bill that was ever passed, okay? And it gave the teachers a pay raise. And we were like 49, I think, and we rose from 49 to 40 kids. So it wasn't huge, but believe me, we weren't complaining about it, right? All right? So I tell you all of that to say, in my 30 years, both political parties haven't done a heck of a whole lot for education. All right? Okay. So now, that brings us back to your question, with Republicans and how I plan on winning the seat. First of all, here's what I would tell you with that. If you look at my website, I talk about we've got to get away from partisan politics. And what that is, that goes back to what I said at the beginning. We've got to get away from I'm only going to do what's good for the Republican Party. Or if I was a Democrat, I'd only do what's good for the Democrats, for the Democratic Party. But that's what we got going on in Washington, D.C., and that's why we're in a mess nationally as well. Everybody's worried about the political party. That's not me. I'm just telling you. That's not me. That's not who I am. I'm about representing you, representing District 25. Yes, I am a Republican. Why I'm a Republican? Just because I'm a Republican because my moral beliefs and things line up better with the Republican Party than it does the Democrat Party. Okay? Nothing against the Democrats. I'm just saying for me, I line up better with their beliefs. Now, again, I go back to, okay, I may do that, but guess what? I'm about representing District 25. I'm about representing, and I said, well, let's take the educators, all right? I'm for having a educator's voice within the Republican Party up at the state capitol. Now, here's what I would tell you. If you go back to last spring with the teacher walkout, okay, and the Democrats, the Democrats came out of that as kind of the heroes of that. But let me tell you about that, okay? Republicans notoriously are known for not raising taxes, period. They're against raising taxes, okay? Which, I can tell you, when you guys get old enough to where you have to pay taxes, how many of you have jobs? Okay? You notice those taxes that are pulled out of your paycheck, and you should be making this much, but you only make this much? Okay, none of us want higher taxes. Okay, nobody does, all right? So the Republicans run on that platform, no more taxes, okay? Well, most of the Republicans up in Oklahoma City have ran on that platform. They got elected really for a large part of the fact that we are not going to raise taxes on our citizens. All right? Well, now with this package that was passed for the teacher pay raise and things, what did they do? Do you know? Guess what they did? They raised taxes, right? So the Republicans put, some of them, and maybe most of them, put their political career in jeopardy by voting for those tax hikes. Does that make sense? You see what I mean? So now their Republican base, back wherever they're from, they may not get reelected because why? Because they had said, hey, we're not going to raise your taxes, but guess what they ended up doing? Raising taxes. Okay, why did they raise taxes? For the betterment of our education system, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so they kind of put their political careers on the line. All right. Now, okay, so let's look at the Democratic Party. All right, the Democrats, for the most part, don't have any problem with raising taxes. That in itself is not necessarily bad. I'm not going to bash them either. Okay, because why do they want to raise taxes? Well, to make sure there's funds available to take care of all of our state agencies, right? Does that make sense? So I'm not going to bash the Democrats for that. I mean, but that's what they do. All right. Okay. So, you know, you have the teacher pay raise, and that was already passed. That's because of the bill 1010XX. That was the bill. 1010XX. And so we already have a teacher pay raise, and then after the teacher pay raise, that's when the teacher walkout occurred, right? Okay? And so then when the teacher walkout occurred, you know, we as educators were still wanting more funding. We wanting more money, more funding, right? Which we need, absolutely we need. We've got to have it. Okay. Number one, the Republicans said, I just don't know where we're going to pull that money from. Does that make sense? We've raised taxes, I don't know where we're going to pull that from. Now here's what I'll tell you. In the original bill, you know, cigarette went up $1 a pack. Originally, that was supposed to go up $1.50 a pack. Now, I can't tell you for sure, but from what I understand and from what I hear, guess who got that 50 cents off of that to where it dropped to $1? The Democrats. Okay? They didn't want it to go up to $1.50. They said, let's just keep it $1. So there was some negotiation there. Notice that smokeless tobacco, it didn't have an increase. Now, let me ask you, why in the world, if they're going to raise the price of, cigarettes or tobacco, right? Why didn't